Hey guys, DreadbaneSC, joined by SephyreSC again. Now, we've got a match here between Guillotine as the blue Terran and Michelo as the red Terran on Desert Oasis. So, Seth, give us the breakdown.
Yeah, and another replay that has been sent through by Guillotine as part of his replay pack that he gave us, so big ups there. We've got Desert Oasis here in Terran vs Terran, and I'm always excited to see Terran vs Terran. It's probably my favourite of the mirror matchups, simply because they're such a defensive superpower, and Desert Oasis it really caters to their strengths in. I find in the Terran vs Terran matchup, it's so easy to defend this ramp and turn it into an absolute fortress, and this map really favors switching to air, and it's got the long winding paths in terms of getting to each other's base. So from a Terran point of view, usually when they're fighting Zerg and Protoss, they can wall off nicely and they can basically go with whatever they want. And there's lots of ramps and lots of sneaky business that they can do by putting tanks at the bottom of ledges and taking sight to harass mineral lines. So this is a really favorable map for Terran Metal. So yeah, excited to see what kind of tricks these players are going to pull in a mirror matchup.
It would seem that the Viking would be a very important unit in this matchup because if you do get that air superiority very early on, you could always just, really camp the other starport if you get enough numbers. So it would seem that, if you get the air superiority, you get the tanks. They have the longer range, of course, with the sight. So that's, I think, what I'd like to see from this match.
Yeah, we're seeing a complete deviation of builds. Usually in a mirror matchup, we have very similar builds from players going on, but from Michelo, we are seeing no wall in at all. We're seeing the barracks going down right next to his command center, the supply depot going in for scouting purposes behind his mineral line, so I do like that. But he's opened it right up to SCV scouting, even like a fast marine here. So, he's probably thinking that he can defend better with this setup against a Reaper harass or any kind of, metal attacks later in the game, but he's not worried about walling off this ramp whatsoever at this point. So, Guillotine, however, went for a bit of a delayed gas, and he is walling in. I imagine he's going to finish the wall off with a supply depot, completely deny any scouting information that Michelo's going to try for. But now this opens up for Guillotine to scout at any time, unless this ramp is controlled by units, with his SCV, so he doesn't have to use scan mana, which is valuable and should be spent on mules to find out what Michelo is up to. So he's got this ramp wide open, whereas Michelo is going to be denied scouting by this wall off that Guillotine is doing now with the barracks and a tech lab. He's actually set up a little murder hole right here, simply because any units coming up this ramp will have to go into this little space in between supply depots and the barracks there, and his units can sit quite comfortably up in the other side of the wall and just have this little slaughtering ground as they try to assault the Guillotine fortress. So different builds straight away, seeing a fast factory coming down from Michelo while he gets his orbital command out. Meanwhile, Guillotine is focusing on infantry. He's getting his second barracks up, so we're seeing complete deviation of builds. We're seeing tech versus infantry commitment, so not sure how either player is going to react to this.
Now, it's still early on now, but just in general, do you have any quick theories as to what these two might be going?
Well, I mean, at this point, I imagine that Guillotine is looking to harass very, very early on. He knows that Guillotine has abandoned his ramp, basically, and he was able to get good scouting information. He's seen this early factory. So Guillotine is probably looking to deny any kind of heavy tech build, and we are seeing a starport go down and a tech lab, so Michelo's going to be able to get his tech out really, really fast. Meanwhile, Michelo's tech is delayed because he's committed to these barracks, and we're seeing a reactor tech lab going up here, so we're going to see Eminem. I imagine he's going to tech eventually to try and get a varied composition of units out, but we could see an early push with an Eminem ball, and they're going to be able to walk straight up this ramp and put the assault on Michelo, who at this point isn't producing anything out of his factory. He's producing no units. He doesn't really have much in the way of army whatsoever. We are seeing this one Marine. I'm not sure what he's trying to do there, trying to get some kind of reverse scouting information. I'm not quite sure what that Marine is thinking. It's just going off on a little explore there. But Michelo has some kind of heavily committed tech build here, so I'm curious to see what he's going to throw out. We are seeing the two starports going down, so maybe we will see fast Vikings coming out. Or, no, we're seeing Banshees, actually. So we're going to see a fast Banshee harass up against a Marine Marauder ball. I'm not sure how effective this is going to be. Guillotine's harass may be interrupted by these Banshees coming out so quickly. I would have imagined that Guillotine would have pushed out by now and exploited this ramp after he scouted this fast tech build. So, yeah, it would be interesting to see what kind of damage these Banshees are going to do when they're out so quickly.
That one Marine got that one SCV kill and thought he was Rambo. He thought he'd just run across the whole map and got completely wasted by, well, the bunch of Marauders and Marines. Now, he is going this heavy air build from the looks of things. He hasn't actually bothered with any air, as you pointed out. So, how do you expect Banshees, heavy Banshees, to really fare against a mix of Marine and Marauders?
Well, Guillotine saw this. Like, he saw the starport, he saw the factory. He was able to scout that pretty well. So, I'm not sure what his answer is going to be here. He is getting that starport online, and he's going to have a reactor, so I imagine he's going to pump quick Vikings out here. Unless he's looking for Banshees of his own, we're going to see Banshee madness. But he has Scan Mana slowly getting up there, so as long as his scan's okay and the cloak research doesn't catch him too unawares, I think he'll be alright. The first Banshee is out, but it's not going straight out there. Michelo may be thinking about waiting for the cloak to come online and have a huge Banshee harass and just go for the end, but we are seeing a scan there from Guillotine, so Guillotine's picking this up. He is seeing the double starport production there. He saw a Banshee come out with the scan still present, so these Banshees should be on their way now. They are. They have recognized that their game is up and the Banshees are on the way, so these Marines are going to need to be doing some nice micro to keep these Banshees away from making a game-ending harass here.
So these Banshees bundled up now. They're about to cause some damage to this Terran base, the starport taking the damage right now. The Marine Marauder ball slowly moving over now. They're going to try and push these away. They don't really get any fire off. They do take down a bit of that one Banshee, but not enough. He does get pushed away. Going for another run though. He might get taken out here. One of them does go down. Really should have maybe left that. He didn't really get much. He got maybe another Marine. He's going in for again, just constantly following this Marine Marauder ball around. He needs to do some damage while he's here. Take out some SCVs. Just make these Banshees worth their while. He is being left alone to take out a couple here. He needs to move these out or else they're going to be lost very, very quickly. These Marauders are no help. The cloak is in place though, so he just scanned up, has to go down to help out. They both get taken out though, some nice scan, and those Banshees not really worth their price.
Yeah, Guillotine was just able to get his scan off there. Lucky he didn't warp that into a mule. We are seeing those Vikings come out now, so Michelo hasn't done enough damage for these Banshees he's committed to. He does have more on the way. He is really committed to this. He's getting his reactor on his factory, so maybe he's thinking about sending Hellions to harass Guillotine there, but he's throwing his expansion down. So as long as he can keep his harassment up and not lose his Banshees too cheaply, he'll be okay. But Guillotine has actually decided to put the pressure straight back onto Michelo by sending out drops. Meanwhile, we're seeing Banshees race into Guillotine's base, so there's a drop going on while the Banshees are harassing, so players are looking to basically trade off. The Banshees are still committed to this harassment, but the drop is hitting into Michelo, laying into his C-Tank. There's one Banshee there not cloaking. Meanwhile, his own Banshees have realized what's going up, and they're pulling back as opposed to committing to the base race trade. But no, this M&M ball is going to town. One starport going down the second starport, and it's taken the game. Michelo has GG'd, well, he didn't GG out, he BM's out. Wow, he's just had his Banshee harassment completely interrupted. Guillotine, as opposed to just taking it as it comes and turtling up, has just picked his M&M ball up and said, look, you're going to take that fast and I'm going to hold it. I'm going to take the game right to you. Even though Michelo was trying to get his macro online, Guillotine has just gone for a fast retaliation and completely scooped the game back his way.
I really like that by Guillotine. He didn't really worry too much about the Banshees. He just said, hey, he's focusing on these Banshees. He just picks up his Medivacs, strolls across the map, very short distance, and just drops his M&M ball. And there was, wisely, there was no army to really, fight him off. So it was a really easy win in the end. Banshees really not what he needed. He at least needed some ground army just to have a presence on the ground.